Hi everybody, my name is Leanna Garfoot, or for the sake of this video, Ms. Garfoot. This is the first video of my set of second micro lessons. This video will be on Joyce chapter 7 about synectics. This is intended for a 3rd or 4th grade class in the category of literacy in the unit of poetry. This video will be discussing using metaphors and similes to write poetry. For assessment for this lesson, it will be class participation as well as a rough draft and final draft of a product that they'll be creating to go with some winter art. They'll be writing a winter poem. But for this video, we'll just be going over the basis of analogies, metaphors, and similes. Thank you. All right, class, everybody listen up. Today we are going to be reviewing what analogies, metaphors, and similes are. We are going to be writing a poem of our own. So far, we've only been reading poems from other people, but today we are going to get to write one that is ours, and it is going to go with our art project that we did last week. So, who knows what a metaphor is? Who can tell me what a metaphor is? Good, yes, it does compare things. So let's talk about that. Metaphors compare by using something is something. They say something is something else. A good example of this is love is a flower. See how it takes one thing, love, and says that it is a flower, something else. Good. We have another thing that we use to compare two things, and it is called a simile. Let's read the simile. Compares using like or as. Very good. Let's read an example of a simile. Your smile is as bright as the sun. Can someone tell me the difference between a metaphor and a simile? Thinking up here first, raising your hand when you have an answer. Good. Yes, one uses like or as, and one says is. Okay, class, so we are going to write our poems all about winter. So can everybody turn to a blank page in their notebooks? Quickly and quietly. And once you get to your blank page, go ahead and write at the top the title that says Winter Poem. I'm going to write it with you. Let's check for good spelling. W-I-N-T-E-R, winter. Poem. Good. Everybody has winter poem written at the top of their page. Now, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and you're going to come up with an example of a simile or a metaphor that you think fits our winter project. Okay, everybody take 1 or 2 minutes to come up with their own example. Okay, coming back together now, class. I have a friend who has shared his example with me to share with you. We are going to see it now. Read it with me. Snow is like a blanket. All right, put your finger on your nose if you think this is a metaphor, and put your finger on your chin if you think this is a simile. Good. My friends that said simile, that is correct. Who can tell me why this is a simile? Because it uses the word like. Perfect. The word like means it is a simile. All right. Now, who out of my friends has an example of a metaphor for their winter poem? Does anybody have an example of a metaphor? All right, quickly and quietly sharing. All right, and here's our example. Christmas is happiness. How do we know this is a metaphor? What is our key word? Is. Good, because something is something in a metaphor. All right, class, now you're going to have time to work on your own. I want you to come up with how many? 3 metaphors or similes about our winter project. Okay, remember that our art is a landscape of the winter scene. So what do we see outside and how can we use it as a simile or a metaphor? All right. Okay, so that would be my introduction of metaphors and similes. Would be pretty brief as they should have already had some introduction to analogies in potentially 3rd grade. This will be a 4th grade standard for literacy on their state testing, so it's important to cover in class, but it's a fun way to incorporate it with poetry and art. Thanks.